Recently, there has been a lot more choice for aviation lovers on Roblox, and today we are looking at the game Flight World. Is it as good as people say it is? In Flight World, the very first thing you'll notice when you spawn into the map are those green shiny numbers on the corner of the screen. That's right, this game has career mode, which is very exciting. To be more specific, it's career mode only, so you can't cheat to fly a 747. You have to earn all $8,625,000 the raw, authentic way. Project Flight does not have career mode, but when it does, you'll have a choice of free flight as well, which means if you're lazy, like me, you can fly whatever you want, whenever you want. In Flight World, there are two ways that you can earn money. The first is flying spontaneously. Every few seconds, you'll be given a small amount of money. How much money you earn depends on your speed. Faster speed equals more money, slower speed equals less money. The second way you can earn money is through jobs or commissions. These range from flying commercially to private jets, cargo flying, etc, etc. You get paid for the distance you fly and the plane that you use. This will get you tons more money than the small paycheck you get every few seconds. Today we are flying commercially. The UI in this game is pretty good. It makes little popping sounds whenever you hover over a button, similar to the Update 9 UI leak. If anything, I prefer this to Project Flight's hover sound effects. In Flight World, there is a choice of 27 aircraft compared to Project Flight's 21 to 23, ranging from the Piper Cub to the Boeing 747 and the Airbus Beluga. That is a range because some of the planes in Project Flight are limited edition. I'd say Flight World has a wider variety of aircraft compared to Project Flight. However, the individual models will be better on Project Flight. Flight World does have cockpits, but they are similar to Pilot Training Flight Simulator, where they are not functional, they're just a few buttons and or textures. Flight World also has somewhat detailed cabins as well, automatically being better than Project Flight because Project Flight does not and will not ever have cabins. Flight World only has 5 airports to choose from, being Anchorage in Alaska, St. Martin, Gibraltar, Elmendorf, and Keflavik in Iceland. These airports are about the same quality as they are in Pilot Training Flight Simulator. If anything, they are slightly better. The ground textures are okay, they look very basic and sort of what you'd expect from a Roblox game. Unfortunately, these airports are nothing compared to Project Flight's list of 13 airports, which range from Cotillo to Punta Cana in the Caribbean. Project Flight's airports are much more detailed, but Flight World does have interiors. Project Flight only has these fake interiors called parallax interiors. But Flight World again is similar to Pilot Training Flight Simulator, where you spawn into the airport and you have to walk about 100,000 miles for a specific gate that you might want. Taxiing in Flight World is easy, but if you have the advanced control mode enabled, which most people, well, I have enabled, then the turning abilities of the aircraft become what I'm guessing is unrealistically worse. I've never actually been in control of the plane before, so I wouldn't know. You have to go at like 2 knots to get around a relatively loose bend. Project Flight has much easier taxiing abilities, but there's a drifting issue, which is like having a 50-knot crosswind, but your actual speed is 20 knots, but you're actually on the ground, but there actually isn't any wind, if that makes any sense at all. Flight World has animations, yippee! Okay, like I'm actually really shocked that Flight World has animations. I mean, look at that landing gear and those flaps. They don't make any sound unfortunately like they do in Project Flight, but they're actually pretty decent. Takeoff isn't really a category, but Flight World is the same as Pilot Training Flight Simulator, in that when you reach your V-speeds during takeoff, the nose starts to sniff the ground if your cursor is even slightly below the center of the screen, which is actually really annoying. If you're enjoying this video so far, please consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get to 700 subscribers. Now onto flight physics. Flight World is similar to Pilot Training Flight Simulator because the plane feels extremely toyish and unrealistic, unless you press Z on your keyboard and then you activate advanced physics, where the plane actually feels like it has some weight to it and is somewhat difficult to fly, as it should be. Project Flight only has one physics mode, and the physics depends on the aircraft, which is more realistic, but for people that are new to playing games, that might be quite difficult. The terrain in Flight World is extremely similar to Pilot Training Flight Simulator, just with more detailed mountains. The camera in Flight World is actually really irritating. Picture this, you just taken off, and you want to adjust, let's say, the FOV, so you move your mouse to change it, and all of a sudden, you're on course to collide with the ground within 2 seconds. You can change to quote-unquote camera mode with C on your keyboard, but all you have to do on Project Flight is deactivate the plane's controls with A on your keyboard. And again, Flight World's camera is centered around the cockpit, not the center of the plane, similar to Pilot Training Flight Simulator. This makes looking at different parts of the plane very irritating. For some weird reason, Flight World uses meters to measure altitude. Normally in aviation, altitude is measured in feet, so I don't really understand why they've done this, unless they're in China, I don't know. During landing, the advanced controls feature makes the plane feel much heavier on landing, which I really like as it adds an element of challenge to the game. But it does the same thing as Pilot Training Flight Simulator simulator where you use the pushback tool to use reverse thrust, and you know how I feel about that. Now for some miscellaneous stuff. Flight World has ground crew, and I would say a more realistic weather system as well. I mean, there's no crosswind or anything like that, but the clouds look really cool. But as we all know, this is changing very soon for Project Flight in Update 9. Anyway, that's all for me today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Can we get to 700 subscribers by the end of May? Goodbye.